Well, we thought we'd get a little bit of gardening work done today. It's cloudy, cool. So far the rain hasn't hit us, kind of going around us as it usually does. And that's why we have to water. And you can see it's definitely all around us and above us. So I got out here early. For me this morning early was 7 o'clock. So time to burn some weeds. Now I learned something about this burning weeds this time. I mean, I'm 66 years old, still learning. But a lot of times when you burn and you think that you've done a pretty good job, what you don't realize is the seeds actually fall to the ground. Now, I don't know that you can see that, but down in there is live seed that's not burnt. It falls to the ground. So what you got to do, or what I found I have to do, is hold it there. Now God created those weeds where a fire goes through fast, seeds fall to the ground, and the weeds will populate. It will continue to grow. That's a pretty good. That's a pretty good plan because it keeps everything growing. Well, if you're going to try to destroy those weeds and try to purify your garden, sterilize it so that the weed seed is at least on the top. Okay, I agree. There's seed underneath, and they're good for a very long time. So thousands of years, I guess. So, but I'm knocking off the stuff that's on the top. It's most obvious and the freshest. So it's doing a pretty good job. But yeah, wind has been from the south to the north, and I burnt, go walking towards the north. The wind changed 180 degrees. I had to go to the north side and start on, this is the north here, that's the north, towards my neighbor's corn. And the wind was coming from the north, so then I went up here and started at this end, started going back down this way. And I had to take a little break, and I went inside, came back out, and now the wind's from the south. And it's actually pretty still right now, so I'm gonna guess that I might be getting some of that rain here soon. So anyhow, folks, just a little bit of garden work, and yeah, we're having a garden. My boy wants a garden, so he's doing a garden this year, and I'm just helping out. Okay, from Sand Hollow Homestead. Talk to you later. At least in our garden. And okay, a little more later. He's gonna get the walk-in weed trimmer and hit some of the vertical weeds that we had. Good job, Bart. Yeah, we did it together. That's a John Deere 216, I guess is what it's called, with a rototiller on it. Comes with a snow blade too. I'm sure you can get a lot of other attachments, but that's what I paid for. It was used, and I worked it over, got it running good. Seemed to be in pretty fair shape. Whoever had it had manual, the manuals, the repair books, service books, and they were, well, shop books. I mean, they were excellent. So whoever had it knew what he was doing, probably took care of it really good. And I thought, hey, I need to do the same, and I have. And so you gotta give it that overhaul every spring, right? Oil change, oil filter, lubrication. Check your belts. Well, Barton, he likes to raise even tomatoes, so there he is, the human steam shovel, shoveling away.
So he's not till it's done.
He has. He's got the power. Yep. Well, we're back at it today. We didn't get it all done yesterday. Well, we're digging our holes, setting the posts, and getting the cages ready. And as you can see, there's rabbit manure in the bottom of every one of these holes, and that's what we do. This is our way of doing it. I don't know. Everybody's got a different way of doing it, but we make a hole, put the manure in, put the plant in, cover it up, and then set our, well, we got to make sure we get our post set and then set our cages. So Barton's doing the digging of the posts, and you know, so we've got we figured there's about 29 tomato plants in this row, which is, it's a mighty amount when you consider how big they're going to get. They will be together, they'll be entwined, and there's a lot of people that say, oh my God, you're not going to get tomatoes. But we do. And we usually finish our picking somewhere in October when we get our freeze. And when it freezes, it's a done deal. So this is where we're at this point, and do a little bit every day. Kind of hot, isn't it?
Warming up.
Yes, it is. All right, from Sand Hollow Homestead. See you later. Well, this week we should be able to finish planting our garden, and it'll probably be a surprise to all of us what we end up planting. We got a lot of space, so we're going to be doing a lot of planting. And tomatoes, of course. Most of them are in. I've still got some tomato plants left over. So, oh, looks like a garden hose yanked that one. Anyhow, we've got probably close to 50. I think it's under 50 right now planted, but by the time we get the others, we'll be well over 50. And usually it's about 25 per row. This row here is under, the way my son put it in. He put marigolds in between, and so there's a lot of extra space. He wanted to do that on purpose because he wanted to give the tomatoes more space between plants. On this row, I kind of set it up, and it is the Butch Mazza method, because I don't give them a lot of space. A lot of folks say, oh, you won't get good sized tomatoes. Well, if you let them grow long enough, believe me, they'll get big, especially when the sun's there and the water's there and the good soil's there. It'll happen. So that's pretty dang close. Probably could have done every other. But we've got about 29 plants in this row, and they're shoulder to shoulder. When they grow up, they're going to be entwined. It's going to be a real tangle, and I don't mind that. My arms can work through it, so can Bart's. And what's nice is this side here, between the two, it's going to be a little crowded, especially for a fat boy like me. But this over here, on this side, there's going to be a lot of room, because all of these plants here are going to be small plants. So these tomatoes will be easy to get to, and then the ones that are on the other side, we can also we can get to them. We can, I mean, we're willing to crawl on our belly like a sapsucker to get what we need. So that's what we do. I think today I'm gonna run a water line for the blackberries. I have been watering them a little bit, and you know, by hand and by sprinkler, but now I'm gonna run a tape and get this done. So we've got some more rows you can see over here on this side here. So we got quite a bit to do, and I did discover that I have 5 blueberry plants left, and what I need to do is I need to get some special doctoring done to them, because they're just barely there. I mean, I've got weeds that are bigger than these blueberries. When I look at Deep South Homestead and his blueberry trees, and his is probably a different variety, but when I see how big his blueberries are and his blueberry, it really you know, it shames me, because I just wish that we had that kind of soil and that kind of blueberries. But yeah, we'll keep working on it until we figure it out and take the time. Bugs got our rhubarb, and they went to seed too. They weren't getting watered there for a while, or this spring I should say. So we're on it now. It's getting watered, as you can see, the moisture in the soil, and it's being watered only where the plants are. And raspberries are coming back like crazy. Now they will eventually choke out most of that weed grass, and that's what they're doing. They're growing, and there's 2 T-tapes in there to water that, and I'm going to have to replace that this year as well, because it's been in there way too long. So we're just going to keep plugging along, and like I say, this week we'll be able to get the rest of the garden done. Barton's got some time off, and we'll get in there, and I'm going to be working on some repair work on a rototiller and lawnmowers and everything. So I do the mechanical, and this year he's going to be doing the garden. So it's a beautiful day, nice and cool. Actually, it's in the 50s right now in the morning, and it is really cooled down. I doubt if it's going to be more than 70 something, and so very comfortable, good time to be working outside. And things are if you're watering it, it's green, and if you're not, it's pretty dead by now. Pretty brown and dead. So thought I'd share that, and just a little update.